Member for Port Stephens.
Thank you, Mr Acting Speaker. On Thursday afternoon, this chamber will pause to debate a petition signed by almost 15,000 residents. The petition calls on the New South Wales Government to buy back the Mambo Wetlands. 6 hectares of the Mambo Wetlands was sold by this government to a property developer in 2016 for the paltry sum of $250,000. At tomorrow's debate, I will outline why this low act represents everything that's wrong about this government's priorities. But today, I want to acknowledge the amazing people who have done all that they can to protect this precious piece of land. I'd firstly like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Warramai people who walked these lands for centuries before any of us. Prior to the government selling it off, Warramai elder Carol Ridgway Bissett sought protection of the Mambo Wetlands as an Aboriginal place. Carol has addressed the community forums we've held and numerous rallies, speaking of the importance of the land and their connection to it, to her people. Next, I acknowledge Walter and Margaret Lamond and their fellow members of the Mambo Wanda Wetlands Reserves and Landcare Committee. Walter, Margaret and their fellow landcare workers have spent the past decades caring for this land. Then on 7 May 2016, the for sale sign went up. Residents rallied in an effort to stop the sale. Eileen Donaldson set up the first Facebook page to keep people connected and disseminate information. Many locals joined the push, with over 200 people attending a community forum and many more attending rallies. I want to give a special mention to Guy Innes for his beautiful photographs of the wetlands, from the soaring sea eagles to his iconic shots of koalas licking the sand on the beach, capturing a little-known activity that occurs nowhere else in the world. Wildlife rescuers such as Ron Land, Simona Reno and Carmel Northwood from Port Stephens Koalas, they have contributed enormously to our understanding of the importance of this special parcel of land to our community. I also want to acknowledge the support that I've received in this campaign from Shadow Environment Minister Penny Sharp, Shadow Education Minister Jihad Dib, local Labor Party members and members of the Port Stephens Greens, including Robin Williams and Nigel Waters. This impressive cross-section of community that has supported this effort shows just how much my community cares about this parcel of land that was sold to developers by this government. Some months after the sale, a development application was lodged with Port Stephens Council for residential accommodation on the site. A committee of local residents was formed, and it's the Mambo Wanda Wetlands Conservation Group. Spearheaded by Kathy Brown and Irene Jones, these residents led the fight against the development application and set about organising the petition, the signatures for this petition that will be debated in this place. Other valuable members, hard-working members of this group include Heather Callister, Pamela Churchman, Anne Caldwell, Margaret Manning, Robin Williams, Cassia Klinger, Nigel Waters, Margaret and Walter Lamond, Brian Tehan, Sue Van Mechelen, Jennifer Warman and Sue White. This group held stalls all through summer, and from early December to late January they were able to collect the 14,000 plus signatures that was necessary to trigger the debate that we heard on the floor of this place tomorrow. As well as the stalls being arranged by the group, the petition was also placed in many supportive businesses. And I'm going to thank those that I can. Terry White Pharmacy, Nelson Bay Discount Pharmacy, Nelson Bay Health Foods, Nelson Bay Gloria Jeans, Nelson Bay Tile House, Our Place Preschool Nelson Bay, Let's Go Adventure Scuba Diving Nelson Bay, Corlette General Store, Marine Tech at the Anchorage Marina, Port Stephens Pet Warehouse, Webster's News Agency at Little Salamander Bay, Macaulay's Bottle Shop, Hunter Physiotherapy, Port Stephens Pet Barn, Jack's Tyres, Salamander Bay, Amcal Chemist, Salamander Bay, Shoal Bay Pharmacy, Horizons Golf Resort, Soldiers Point Bowling Club, Hunter Wetlands Centre, Karua Centre, Karua and District RSL, Fibonacci Coffee, Raymond Terrace, Merrill Swanson's office in Raymond Terrace, Nelson Bay Information Centre, Macadamia Cafe at Medowie, Peninsula Hotel Nelson Bay, Iggy's Bazaar Nelson Bay Bowling Club, Gloria Jeans, Salamander Bay, the Marina Ice Creamery, Nelson Bay, Lemon Tree Passage Visitor Information Centre, St Philip's Christian College. I apologise if I've missed anyone who has contributed to this campaign, but I hope that the people from the government recognise how much effort has gone into this and how much of a cross-section of this community has taken part in this process and who oppose the government's sale of this precious parcel of land. This has been a true community campaign, a campaign that I hope will resonate on the floor of this House tomorrow afternoon, when the 14,000 people's signatures, those people's voices, will be heard in this place tomorrow, because after all, this was not your land to sell off. This was the land of the people of New South Wales, and it should never have been flogged off to a developer.
I call